talk about that one first.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So for monitoring conditions, Louisiana has somewhat of a unique system. So the federal government has gauges at certain locations across the nation. However, those tend to be purely meteorologic, oftentimes tide, waves, wave period, winds.
Could you speak louder for me to hear?
Yes, sorry.
Could you say again?
Louisiana, the state, created its own gauge and monitoring network. And then at a less frequent interval, people go out and monitor the marsh accretion, so the marsh surface change and vegetation.
Values. So I'm so impressed by that. So I wonder that the model you are developing is something like generally applied, or is a tailor-made one for specific case. If you have a general model, can you share with us the platform or the structure or nature of the model? And then if you can bring it to Vietnam, all we can do just to specify some inputs, and then can have a results that help us a lot in evaluate the effects of some situation, and also evaluate the effectiveness and the outputs of investment projects. Thank you.
where these water levels are located. Lake Pontchartrain, Lake Maurepas, closer to Baton Rouge. The model encompasses approximately 180 miles. That would be close to 300 that we spoke of earlier, departs from the Mississippi River and becomes its own waterway. We talk a lot about the diversions from the Mississippi River. It is
chính là cái đập tràn mà hôm qua chúng ta đi, và ở một số cái góc mà chị vừa mô tả thì có một số các cái hạ tầng là để chuyển nước từ cái dòng sông chính sang hai bên, có thể là vừa là chuyển nước ngọt hoặc có thể là dẫn thoát lũ hoặc là chuyển cả các cái phù sa, và họ thực hiện cái này như thế nào, nhưng quan trọng nhất là tại sao họ lại phải làm một cái đầu tư này.
Coastal Louisiana, a place like nowhere else. It's a landscape woven together by waterways running through swamp, marsh, and prairie. A rich natural habitat for fish and fowl, prehistoric reptiles, and land dwellers of every stripe. From the Chenier Plain in the west to the Mississippi River Delta, it's a natural wonder, made even more wondrous by the local language, culture, and tradition of its people. This is the story of our coast, how it came to be, what we face today, and where we go from here. Roaring southward.
The sand that moves down the river only moves a couple months a year. It does not move year-round. And then when it does move, it doesn't move 50 miles in a year. It moves 3, 5, maybe 7, maybe 10 miles at most. And so when you think about the river sediment diversions and trying to divert water, nutrients, and sand, as well as other 216 5 by 10 foot panels. Each one of those panels was carved using a computer numerically controlled router. And so you see the time-lapse photo there of one of the panels being routed, again, with the scaled elevations, the depths of the river, the heights of the levee, or the height of that, the elevation of that land in a particular area. So the process, took about a year, almost a year and a half, and then all the panels were brought up here, where then started in one corner. There are 4 jacks and 2 steel beams underneath each panel, and then all the panels were put together, laser leveled, and the seams were sealed, and then it was painted white. What we ended up with is about a 10,000 square foot section for studying rivers and sediment transport. Because a lot of people use numerical models, there's a lot of work being done on the river, in data collection. But the power of the physical model is, right, you can do very controlled experiments, and it's great for education and outreach, right? And so this has been about a 22-year relationship.